Welcome back to Dejon, and we're heading towards the concluding stages of the second race of the weekend of the Lotus Cup Europe. At least this time around, I wouldn't say the skies are clear, but the sun is beginning to peek through, and therefore we are being treated to some excellent dicing as Steve Williams has got a challenge from Christophe de Zondre, and de Zondre able to find a way past, so de Zondre gains the position. Meanwhile, there's some great scrapping behind us. Jason McAnulty in the black and purple car chases down Marcus Nikovic, in turn Nikovic in pursuit of his production class rival and class leader Dejon. They're all bottled up behind the 211 of Nathalie Genou-Prache. Genou-Prache slightly lower corner speeds, allowing the production cars to close up, and then in turn Nathalie pulls clear on the straights. That has given Nikovic the opportunity to challenge Ras. Out front though, this is the battle for the lead of the race, with Jonathan Walker leading the way from Jeremy Lorenko as they now get into the thick of the traffic. That is Kees Lois, who they ease past. Now, will this give the opening to Jeremy Lorenko that he needs? He's been in pursuit of John Walker all the way through since the very start of the first race of the weekend. He's yet to make a move stick. Walker though has been living dangerously, sliding the car, doing all he can to maintain the lead. Lorenko has been the ever-present shadow, and now possibly a moment's hesitation in the traffic may give him the opening. At the moment though, Walker is being absolutely ruthless, scything his way through, really letting Jeremy Lorenko do all the hard work. Lorenko though trying to demonstrate that he is more than equal to the challenge. So uphill, just avoiding the AstroTurf. We look back from Jonathan Walker. And this is what Jeremy Lorenko can see. The rear spoiler of the not dissimilar Lotus Exige V6 Cup R as the pair of them head over the start-finish line. But Walker just seems to have that slight straight line advantage. He's making Lorenko do the hard work, but Lorenko now challenging or trying to the outside line. Seesaws at the wheel. And I think the true indication of Lorenko's pace is going to be how quickly he can get back onto terms with Walker, if at all, of course. Meanwhile, John Ras looking to try and ease past Nathalie Genou-Prache, and Ras now looks to the outside line through the hairpin. It's the turn of Jason McAnulty to begin to challenge, with Marcus Nikovic still there, and Ras possibly having the run, but Genou-Prache covers the inside line just in time, and John Ras, with an eye towards championship points, doesn't want to do anything unduly risky and cost himself the class win. And again, so smooth at the wheel, John Ras, but you could hear how much he had to lift mid-corner there in order to avoid riding to Nathalie Genou-Prache. And again, Genou-Prache heavily on the brakes, and that is thwarting Ras's efforts to get through. And now it's the turn of Jason McAnulty to carry much more speed through that final turn. Gets underneath the rear spoiler of Ras as they climb uphill. Meanwhile, here is the fight for fourth place between Nikolai Ibsen and John Packer. Great work by Ibsen's crew to get that car repaired and back out into the action. At the moment, Ibsen repairing them with a great effort. Really close battle for fourth position. Another driver having a good tussle is David Harvey. He's just closing up onto Nicholas Gambini. Still, the Genou-Prache battle continues. It's now bookended by Genou-Prache's, because Jean-Pierre Genou-Prache closing up, making it a five-car train. Great defensive drive though from Nathalie Genou-Prache, who's making John Ras really have to work very, very hard for the place, and Ras almost resorts to the desperation of trying to force the move to the inside line at the hairpin. And that's the first time maybe the frustration is just shown from John Ras. He knows he's got class rivals behind him. He knows that if he can get past Nathalie Genou-Prache, he will probably be able to pull well clear. Return to the fight for fourth position. And still Packer and Ibsen circulate in tandem. Ibsen just runs a little bit wide though into the hairpin. That gives John Packer the chance to draw alongside as they climb uphill. And Ibsen again not driving with any particular defensive approach, he's just sticking to the racing line. When you can do that, it becomes oh so difficult for the cars around you to find a way past. Meanwhile, here is a replay of Jeremy Lorenko perfect drift. I'm sure he enjoyed that immensely. And it's working for the Renko. We go in car with him now as he draws alongside Jonathan Walker, and this time the Renko's got the inside line for turn 1. The car squirms on the brakes, but so does Walker, who shuts the door, but possibly understeers out wide. Now this is the opening for the Renko, and he pounces, he darts past Jonathan Walker, takes the lead of the race. Now can the Renko use the bulk of this lap to pull clear of Jonathan Walker? That's exactly what he's doing. And he's left it until late on, but now that Jeremy Lorenko is through, he's already established about half a second or so's worth of a buffer. And has Walker got anything left in the tank to try and close it down? A pair of them heading towards the conclusion of another lap. Headlights ablaze, and of course for Lorenko, the boot is on the underfoot when it comes to carving through the traffic. He's now got to pick his line and carve a way through. Meanwhile, there is Phil Capstick getting it all a little bit wrong and sideways. And Capstick having a big moment. As in trouble is Benoit Roger. And Roger peels off the road as Jean-Baptiste Loup powers past in a not dissimilar 2.11. John Rass is now out in a little bit of clear air, so he is beginning to clear the sort of lap times that he would want to clear in the production class. There's our third place runner, Nicholas Walker, and as you can see, he has got a substantial advantage over Nikolai Ibsen. Here comes Ibsen, scything past some of the production cars, climbing uphill. So we go into the final lap, and still Jeremy Lorenko has got the advantage over Jonathan Walker. Walker's certainly close enough if events were to change. They've got the 2.11, possibly they're going to have to worry themselves with over the course of this final lap of the race. Otherwise, it should be a reasonably untroubled run through to the checkered flag. Renko swoops downhill. Jonathan Walker closing as best he can, but these two cars near enough identical, and therefore Jonathan Walker is really hoping for an error from Lorenko. At the moment, that error is not forthcoming, and so Jeremy Lorenko is looking well set for his first victories of the season in the Lotus Cup Europe. Jonathan Walker, who has been in fight with Vettel all weekend, so on this last lap, Nikolai Ibsen just beginning to be caught a little bit by Jean-Baptiste Loup. They put a lap on production class leader John Rass, just a couple of corners away from the checkered flag. And I think Jean-Baptiste Loup has got a little bit too much ground to make up, particularly with the quick car of Rass between himself and Ibsen. So he's going to keep trying as the checkered flag goes out now to greet our race winner Jeremy Lorenko. He is victorious in race 2 at Dejon Prenois, chased over the line by Jonathan Walker, and then a big wait for our third place car, Nicholas Walker. So a look at the classification. Lorenko wins it from Jonathan Walker and Nicholas Walker. Nikolai Ibsen in 4th from Jean-Baptiste Loup, and an excellent 6th for Steve Williams, just clear of David Harvey. John Rass wins the production class in 13th after a dogged performance and that great scrap with Natalie Genu-Prache, who claims 16th at the flag. All in all, 26 of them made it through to the end of the race, with Rob Woolridge completing the classification. Unfortunately, 1 or 2 of them falling by the wayside. Particularly feisty drive from Christophe Legendre. So in terms of the championship then, Jean Rass now well clear of Walker, with then Jeremy Lorenko and Thierry Edouin from Anthony Fournier.
Jeremy, congratulations, a fantastic first win of the season. How was it?
Incredible, a very, very good race, a very good pleasure with John, and I'm so proud of me and my team, and my friend Xavier was an accident in the first race, so I'm proud, very proud.
Now, it was a tough battle with you and John. You managed to take it in the last couple of laps. Great driving.
Yes, I hope. No, I hope, but I do my best, and I will win in the finish race. À la fin.
Disappointed to finish second, but thrilled to have a great race. and it was a really good race. To be honest, Jeremy was probably a little quicker than me right from the start, but I was managing him. I made a mistake over there, ran wide, and he didn't need much more of an invitation than that. So he did very well.
Well, you certainly did very well. You've certainly shown that the rest of the season could be yours as well. With a win and a second place, Manicourt looks positive.
Unfortunately, not for me. I'm going to be in Monaco for the Grand Prix, so that's my 2 drop scores straight away.
Now, Nicholas, this is last season where we discovered the battle between you and Jonathan was rife, and it's happened again, finishing 3rd place today in the second race. Fantastic finish.
Well, not as close as it seems. Although I was 3rd, I didn't see my brother. In fact, it was a strange race. After about 2 laps, I could neither see my brother or anyone behind me. So it was only when I picked up the back markers that the race became interesting. So it was great fun, and the track was perfect. So first podium of the year, looking forward to Magny.
John, it would seem that you're fairly unstoppable at the moment. That's 4 race wins under your belt, and I suppose you've moved to the top of the championship table as well.
Oh, you're right. I think I'm still at the top of the championship, but this race was more difficult. I prefer when it's wet, and I think I did a not so bad job, and I kept the 1st place, and I had some small problem with Natalie and the number 11, I think, but nothing very important. A great race. It was fun.
John Baptiste, what a fantastic weekend for you, finishing 1st in class and your 1st podium of the season as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, 2 really beautiful races, and the start was really bad, but finally I come back in the race and I finish 1st. So really nice weekend for me.
Well, John, there was a lot of spinning going on there. You still managed to finish up 2nd in class, but I'm sure it wasn't the race you exactly hoped for.
No, not exactly. As you can see, we had a little bit of accident damage on the last corner of the last lap, where the brakes were just a little bit unpredictable and the rear brakes were too good, so it put me into a bit of a spin and I collected Steve. So it was an accident, and I'm really sorry for Steve, but I managed to nurse it home and still get 2nd in class, which I'm quite surprised about, really.
Well, as everyone begins to pack up behind us, it is time for us to say goodbye once again. It's been an incredible weekend of racing, and there's lots of smiles, as you can see, lots of happy drivers everywhere, lots of smiles all round because the rain has finally managed to hold off. So until next time, I think it's time we get out of here. Until next time, we'll see you then.